but some dogs take a little longer, like my current partner, Echo, was about 5 months, and we actually adopted him because he loves fetch, and then when we were, going through the motions and teaching him, he's like, "You know what? I don't really wanna play ball." So, then we had to, we obviously were in love with him, we're not gonna return him to the shelter, um and so we just had to think creatively about what he wanted, what he needed. And he's actually a treat dog. So he gets treats for finding scat in the wild.
Welcome. This is Lauren Stites, and you are listening to Her Side of the Trail. This is a different kind of episode, but I think you'll enjoy it as much as I did. Jennifer Hartman is the guest this week. She is part of the Rogue Detection Teams, which is a group of handlers and rescued dogs who go across the globe, and the dogs sniff out information for scientists. So whether it's for endangered species, rare species, they use these dogs to gather information so they can learn more about the species and how to protect them, or just in general, learn more about them. Maybe we don't know enough about them. I'm a little upset that I didn't know that this was a career option, but that's okay. I still got to speak to Jennifer Hartman about it and live a little vicariously through her and what she does. And I hope you enjoy this episode. And let's get into it. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you so much for joining me today to talk about your incredible dogs. I'm so excited for this episode. I'm a big dog lover and everything that they can do. So I'm so glad you're here. How is everything going?
Oh, fantastic. I actually have one of my pups right here with me. He's
Oh,
helping me with the podcast.
I love that. I love that. What's the dog's name?
His name's Filson.
Filson?
Yeah, Filson. like
Did I hear
like
that
the
right?
wool company.
Oh, I love that. I love that. How cute. How
Yeah.
cute. Well, before we even get into the dogs, though, I just want to know, where are you located? I'm sure you have a home base, even though I know you travel a lot.
Yeah, we're located in Rice, Washington, and no one's ever heard of it, but it's 2.5 hours north of Spokane, and
Okay.
we're, right on the Canadian and Idaho border in that northeast corner.
Oh, now you didn't grow up in that area, though.
No, actually, I'm from Colorado originally,
Okay.
born in Fort Collins and raised in Boulder, but I did live on the East Coast for a little bit. We spent some time in Connecticut,
Oh,
so
nice.
I feel like I don't really call any place my home anymore, it's just kind of a nomad.
Yeah. The whole country is your home. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah, wherever my pillow ends up.
Yeah, seriously. Now, the work that you do includes a lot of, being outdoors and focused on conservation. When you grew up, was that a big emphasis in your household growing up? Were your parents big on that?
Surprisingly, no, but not in a I mean, I think we grew up in a household that we were aware of that, and it was important, but it wasn't like my parents were biologists, or anything like that.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of in the background, and I just grew up reading stories about the outdoors and, was always really inspired by those stories, and I was like, "Oh, adventuring is for other people, not me." So I would just live vicariously through these stories, and I think we went camping once when I was a child, and I remember it being really cold, and I didn't like digging the hole. So honestly, I didn't have a lot of experience before I found my way into this field.
This is a great segue, though, to talk about your line of work. If you could explain to the audience exactly what you do and how awesome it is.
Um, this part is tough for me because I'm like, how do I make it succinct? But I work with rescue dogs. We adopt each of our dogs from shelters, and they all love to play fetch. And we utilize their desire to play fetch to help us find data in the wild. And data can be anything from poop, like from wildlife, to other things like invasive species or toxins or viruses. So it's really diverse, and the dogs help us with their sense of smell and lead us to all this information. And we don't have to see the wildlife, collar the wildlife. So it's what's called a non-invasive research methodology.
I'm telling you, dogs are just so incredible. They do so many different jobs out there that I'm just every time I learn about them, I'm just so impressed.
Me too. I mean, honestly, I'm shocked by some of the things I hear that dogs are doing, and I mean, I shouldn't be. I've been doing this for 2 plus decades, but, it's really amazing what what they can smell and sniff out for us. It's
Yeah,
just
they are so great. So how did you get into this line of work then, since you didn't grow up kind of being an outdoorsy person?
um, it's kind of funny, I think my sister was a big influence on me, and, I remember she did 2 things that were pretty pivotal. One was when I was in college, she said, "You should go study abroad in New Zealand."
Oh,
And I was like, "Oh, okay." I always wanted to study abroad, but I was thinking, Europe or Australia. She's
no,
like,
but
"No,
New Zealand,
New
yeah.
Zealand." And I was like, "Where's New Zealand?" This was well before Lord of the Rings movies came out and everything. I
Wait,
was a big
you ever see, what is it, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and he always, like, jokes about how no one knows where New Zealand
no.
is?
I have seen John Oliver, but I haven't seen that bit that he does.
Yeah. Every once in a while, he brings up and he's like, "And this map doesn't even include New Zealand, and you didn't
Yeah.
notice."
It's so true, though. I mean, growing up, I didn't know. I mean, Australia was, like, big in my mind, but somehow New Zealand slipped my imagination, and I think that's what was really key because I did end up following her advice and going there, and it was the first time I went backpacking,
Oh, wow,
and,
okay.
they have amazing trails there, and it's very friendly to the outdoor community, it's just obviously epically gorgeous, and I kind of caught the bug there, but as I kinda hinted at, I'm a big bookworm, and, I didn't think I could get a job in the outdoors. I'm an English literature major, by background, and, so I did this great study abroad in New Zealand, and then I came back and, was like, "Well, when I graduate, what am I gonna do? I don't really wanna be a teacher." And my sister, again, was like, "You should try the Student Conservation Association." And it's this great organization, I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
Um, they actually might be based in the East Coast, but they place young students, in different internships around the country, from Alaska to Hawaii to all across mainland US. And it's working in national parks, it's working in national forests, it's working on research projects, it's doing wildlife or trail maintenance. It's really diverse. I had never heard of it. Again, my sister, I don't know how she knows me better than I know
She's your
myself.
guardian angel.
Yes. Um, but I applied to a few and, I actually got one to research or help study, northern spotted owls in California.
How fun.
And, that's what did it. That was it. That's what launched everything. And I went out there right after college thinking this is just an internship. It'll be done in 6 months, and then I'll have to, like, join the real world, and here I am 20 years later, I'm still doing work in wildlife.
That's so crazy. That's what I was gonna ask you, how long you've been doing it, so 20 years, huh?
Yeah, it was I've had no other job except for, I mean, I've had little jobs here and there, but it basically launched my career into wildlife biology.
Now, your position is called a bounder, is that correct?
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I looked that up.
we we, I think the world would probably know us as, canine handlers, or in our field, it's more commonly known as wildlife detection dog handlers. But in, our program, Rogue Detection Teams, we have come up with a more holistic term that we feel describes more what we do in the field. Handler just didn't I don't really handle the dogs, they're so smart, they come to us, so motivated, they're our teachers, and we really felt, that we wanted a more equal, title, for like, handler makes it sound like I know what I'm doing, when really the dogs have shown me everything I've ever, learned in this field. And, so we're bound to them, we're bound to the environment, and we're bound to the species that we're surveying for. So, Bounder just kind of came about organically and fit us more than canine handler.
So what does it take then to be a bounder? with rogue dogs?
Ooh, that's tough. I think
Just
everyone
asking for a friend because I'm
yeah.
wondering.
Um, I it's funny because I think everyone focuses on the dog, right? For good
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
And they think, "Oh, you must have these, like, just incredible dogs," and, a lot of people think they must be purebreds and they must take forever to train. And really, like I said, I mean, we adopt our dogs from shelters. They're all mutts or mixed breeds. And they learn pretty fast because they're really motivated. And it's the person that's the hard part. Finding our bounders is a challenge for us. And it takes someone who has a really diverse but odd set of skills. So we're looking for people who love to hike, obviously, but we're not really on trails a lot. So a lot of off-trail hiking, people have to love field work. They have to be empathetic and compassionate and patient because the dogs that we adopt are typically on euthanasia lists
Oh,
for
wow.
being too much, untrainable, unadoptable because of their high drive. So we need people who are really open to being led and taught by a dog as opposed to I'm going to structure this dog in this way so that they're like obedient and they go out and they're a good canine citizen because we actually want our dogs to be curious and explore and we have to support that so it's kind of a really big mind shift for I think how maybe many people think about our relationships with dogs um and we camp a lot, so people have to not mind not showering, not seeing your friends and family for a while, living off the grid, um, so it's kind of finding those people who have all those little unique skill sets is tough for us, but we have a good team.
Now, you were talking about the dogs, so I was gonna ask you, like, what do you look for in the dog? I know you said that they need to enjoy fetch. It looks like on your website, it seems like you have a lot of, like, maybe cattle breed dog mixes. Is that who you're looking for, or is that just happens to be the ones that you end up rescuing?
That's a good question. It's a little of both.
Okay.
We aren't breed specific. So we've had any number of breeds come through our program in the past 20 years. For whatever reason, we end up with a lot of cattle dogs because they're adorable as puppies. People
Mhm.
get them and they're like,
Yeah,
wow, this
and they're a
dog's
lot.
too much. Yeah. And actually my partner and the fellow co-founder of the program, his first dog was a cattle dog.
Okay.
And I think people would see pictures of him with Gator and would be like, oh wow, like they like cattle dogs. So then we started getting a lot of inquiries from cattle dog rescues about like,
Oh,
hey, we've got a cattle dog for you. And before you knew it, it kind of snowballed. And actually, Filson is a cattle dog too. And my other partner is a cattle dog. And my first working dog was a cattle dog. So um, it's just kind of happened, but we're not, we've had labs, border collies, some breeds that we don't even know the name of. They're so
a
mixed. So
true mutt, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Now, how long does it take to train the dogs then to do this work?
Um, it's not too long. Every dog's different. So some dogs might be ready to be put in the field pretty immediately because they're just so driven. Like this past spring, we adopted 3 dogs, and one of them, Merlin, was pretty much ready to go almost as soon as we got him.
Oh,
Like he's so smart. He's a border collie mix. He just was like, "Okay, I get it, people. I know what you want me to find. Now let's go do it." And like I said, it's more teaching the people that takes us a while. It takes about 2 years for us to get, a bounder at a level where, they really can understand dog communication and field work and, data collection. So but some dogs take a little longer, like my current partner, Echo, was about 5 months, and
uh-huh.
we actually adopted him because he loves fetch. And then when we were, going through the motions and teaching him, he's like, "You know what? I don't really wanna play ball." So, then we had to, we obviously were in love with him, we're not gonna return him to the shelter, um, and so we just had to think creatively about what he wanted, what he needed, and he's actually a treat dog, so he gets treats for finding, scat in the wild.
Oh, there you
My first
go.
treat dog, yeah.
I'm also motivated by treats, so
Yeah,
I understand.
right. Aren't we all? He's kinda my treat is what I say. So I think also it might not even be treats, it might and this will sound really cheesy, but a lot of it might just be love,
Yeah,
that
no. Mhm.
just that energy we're pushing out to each other in the field, I think is what makes us a great team.
Now, how long do the dogs stay on staff for then?
When we adopt for life. We typically adopt around 1 year plus because then we're not just looking at puppyhood playfulness, we're looking at, okay, this dog
Like,
needs
this
a
is their
dog.
actual personality, yeah.
And then, again, every dog's different. When when we first started, we were told, the dogs needed to retire around 7 or 8. That's when most dogs are that's like geriatric.
Yeah.
But we would get to that age, and our dogs, because they're so fit and so athletic, like, that's their peak. Like, they are, like, hitting their stride at 7 or 8. They just know what they're doing, they're out there just they're experts. So, we kind of started pushing that, with our vets, obviously,
Oh
in full
oh, yeah.
agreement. Like, "Oh, yeah, these dogs need to be out there." And so we've actually had dogs who are still doing soft, gentle projects like butterflies and, other, more gentle field work up until they're about, 13 or 14.
Oh, wow, that's
Um,
awesome, I love
yeah,
that.
and then they retire with their main bounder, and yeah, I mean, we've had dogs live till 18 years old,
That's
so pretty
incredible. And
long.
they get a really, really good life.
Yeah, we hope so. We really try to do our best.
I would think, like, that's like dream job in the dog world. Like, I get to go out and sniff stuff.
I know. And sniff poop, specifically, we get a lot of jokes about like, "Oh, my dog likes to sniff poop." And we're like, "Well, but ours are, yeah, they're not gonna roll in it, they're not doing it to eat it. They just wanna get their ball." But it is a pretty swell job.
Now, what kind of missions I know we were talking about, sniffing poop, so and but also with butterflies. So what kind of missions do you do? Like, what are you looking for? I know that's probably hard to kinda summarize, but and where do they take you? All over the world?
Yeah, oh my gosh, they've taken me, I've been to Africa for this work, Nepal,
Wow.
Vietnam. We just got back from Bhutan. Um, but a lot of obviously around the United States and Canada and Mexico. One of the projects I work on for the past 6 years, 7 years is an endangered species called the Sierra Nevada red fox. And there's only about between estimates say between 20 to 40 left,
Oh, wow.
and so they're one of the most rare, mammals, but no one really talks about them. I think people think, "Oh, foxes are, pests, and why do we
Um,
care about foxes?" But this is a high elevation specialist, and there's very few left. And then we've done everything from bumblebee nests to, one of our, projects this year was invasive crabs, so we're working in tidal flats. We've done, whale research, so looking for floating whale scat on the water, and a lot of carnivore research like wolves, grizzly bears, bobcat, coyote. But we've also done ungulate like moose and caribou. We work in all four seasons. And yeah, it's incredibly diverse, and we're one of many programs around the world. So this is a growing methodology being utilized by researchers everywhere.
so do you have any, like, fun stories you wanna share? Like, anything good, like, fun stories about Echo or Filson that, any interesting trips to report on?
Oh gosh, I have so many stories, but when someone asks you, like, I don't know which one to tell, I'll talk about Filson. he's retiring this year, but I'm pretty proud of him. Especially he's actually in 2 books this year, just
That's
weirdly
exciting.
enough. Yeah, and, both for his work, well, on the Sierra Nevada red fox, but, specifically in Yosemite National Park. And, my first project with him actually, and I wasn't planning on it, I was supposed to go do this research with my dog Scooby, and I found out, this was, back in 2018, but that he had cancer,
Oh
and it was
no.
really, really hard for me, and, it's one of the things we don't really talk about in this field is, when your dog gets sick, but we're on a project, do we not go on the project, but we're under like all these things. And so it was really just a crazy time for me. And I had to transition to working with Filson, who I hadn't worked with before. I loved him. He was in our program, but he wasn't my main dog. And this was a big project. Like we were going to be backpacking through Yosemite. There, it's mostly roadless. And so, had he ever been in a tent? I don't know. And so I was struggling with all of these things, Scooby being sick and working with a new dog. And we're like hiking into Yosemite for the first time. And I remember being in the backcountry with him and just sharing all those firsts with him, was it just it was almost like healing to me, being out there with him. And he's just this shy, sweet, affectionate boy. He has a broken tail
Oh.
and, not very many. I think he must have chewed on chain link fence before we adopted him. He has very, you know, few teeth. And he's not a dog that I think I mean, everyone in our program loves him, but, he was free on Craigslist. Like, no one wanted
Oh.
him, and this is a dog that, took me into under his wing and guided me when I was thinking, like, "Here, I have to take this dog I don't know, and into the backcountry of Yosemite. How are we gonna do this?" And he really supported me, and that's kind of the story of a lot of our dogs in our program, but Filson's been my main, co-woofer for the past, like, 7 years. He's been by my side through a lot.
Oh, and dogs are just so intuitive too, like, I feel like, they just know what you need, um, so
Yeah.
how lucky for you 2 to both partner together. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're both I think you both probably were what each other needed at the time, right? So,
I like to think so.
yeah,
He really got me through some tough times.
yeah. Oh, dogs man, I just love dogs so much. Um Just switching gears just slightly because you have traveled the world and you are on a lot of trails and places like that. Are there any places that you've gone for work that you would love to return to, like in a more relaxing way to maybe do some hiking or exploring around there?
Oh, yeah. I think that's what's so cool about this work is for the most part, we go places that most people aren't going. So they're not on, like, your, you know, top hike list, you know? Um, and I do get to see some really neat and different ecosystems. But funnily enough, one of the places that has just stolen my heart, is a very popular place to go hiking. It's for that red fox work actually that I was sharing about. It's in the Eastern Sierras, and I could just get lost in the Eastern Sierras. That's You go over, your first saddle and you see just all of the mountains spread out
Mhm.
in front of you and you think like this is endless. It just goes on forever and it's beautiful and it's jagged and it's snow capped and it's rugged and it just really makes my imagination just, go wild with all the places that you could explore back there. So I that is a definite place that I would love to go back and not work, even though I feel pretty darn lucky that I get to go there for work. But like you kind of hinted at, there's pressure when you're out there for work.
Yeah.
We're not out there sightseeing. I'm out there on a job, and so being able to go back and just maybe spend a week at a lake would be incredible.
Like anyone who travels for work, I mean, even if they, they're going to like a major city and they go out for dinner one night, like, but they don't really get to enjoy the environment, the area, wherever they're traveling. So that's what I was wondering with you too, because you're working. Yeah, like you said, you're working. It's hard to
And I
relax and
mean,
really take it all in.
yeah, I think a place I should have mentioned is Bhutan. I mean,
Mm,
like you said, going there for work is one thing, and I think we had, like, 1 or 2 days off, and that was just it wasn't really, days off. We can't just hop in a car and go hiking,
mm, oh,
but that's a place, like, the Himalayas would definitely be a place that I would just love to hike and, again, get lost in for a while.
Have you done any like rainforest work with the dogs? Have you been in that kind of environment with them?
Yeah, like jungle, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Any
Yeah. Yeah, usually when we're doing, subtropical work, we try to go in the dry season.
Okay.
But I have worked, in Cambodia to do tiger work, and
Wow.
Nepal was kind of that way, and Vietnam.
That's
And we're
so cool.
talking leeches and
Oh,
howler monkeys and cicadas, and it's
snakes.
just yeah, the snakes, it's got it all.
That's so cool though. Like I keep like picturing like you're like on mountains and things like that and like forests, but I was like, wait, do they also do like
Yeah.
jungle work? Like that's really cool. That's
Yeah, it
really
does
cool.
we don't talk about it as much. Those are fewer and farther in between projects, really rare, and hopefully as the methodology grows, we'll start seeing dogs helping in these ecosystems more, but they're hard. Like,
Oh, I'm
subtropical work
sure.
is incredibly challenging. I mean, our samples degrade almost overnight,
Oh,
and honestly, there's a lot of poaching, so there's the challenges with managing both mentally and emotionally the fact that you're out there to do this work, but, it's disappearing literally in real time in front of you.
right.
So, yeah, there's a lot in the tropical work that's tough. I mean, it happens everywhere, but it's more in your face, I think, when we travel to some of these countries.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm just like so fascinated by your work and what you do and what the dogs do, and I just think it's just so interesting. So thank you so much for just sharing, this little bit about it. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so
Um
much.
yeah. So if people wanted to kind of learn more about what you do and your company and follow along with your adventures with your dogs, are there places that they can do that? Are you on social media?
We are. We firmly believe in science communication.
Mhm.
We don't do as good a job as we wish because we're always in the field,
Yeah,
but
it's hard to keep up with,
we're
yeah.
on we're on, most of the platforms like Instagram, Facebook. We do have a YouTube channel. We're not on TikTok. But yeah, or we're on Threads and Blue Sky if that's more your style.
Now, is it all like rogue dogs or what or
Yeah, there's a combination between rogue detection teams or
okay,
rogue dogs, but,
okay.
either any of those search, will bring us up.
And then what's your website again?
roguedogs.org.
roguedogs.org. Got it. All right. So before I let you go, I always ask all my guests about just to like my final question, just about hiking. And if you could only do a specific kind of trail for the rest of your life, now you've been everywhere. So this is like, like what, Lauren? Why you only give me these two options? But my two options are would you only hike to scenic views or would you only hike to waterfalls?
Oh. Um, Maybe waterfalls, funnily enough. I just think they're in these hidden pockets, and you have to work really hard to get to them. Not that you don't for the views too, but
But it's
it's
different, I
special,
understand.
yeah, when you round a
Yeah,
corner and then there's just this water flowing out of
yeah.
it's gorgeous, yeah.
I totally get that. I totally get that. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for spending your time. I know you're busy and you're recovering from your travels, so I do really appreciate it. And thank Philson for standing by as,
Yeah,
as
we'll
moderator.
see. He's over there napping, otherwise
Give him a scratch behind the ear for me.
I definitely will.
But again, thank you so much. And thank you for the work that you and your team are doing. I know it's extremely important. We need to, be aware of what's going on with this planet. So thank you again for all of your work, and thanks for being here.
Wow. Thank you. This is so such a treat.
Thank you for listening to Her Side of the Trail. There are more hiker stories to hear, so please follow along to hear them as soon as they come out. And if you like this episode, please share it with your friends or on social media. Her Side of the Trail is hosted and produced by me, Lauren Stites. I can't wait to share another hiker story with you next episode.